We're in lesson 12 of the study guide, and this is exercise 23. This is for Patrick Compton. It's to enter a pension statement, a 1099-R for his pension. And so we're going to go into, again, 2023 tax return year. I'll do a client search. I looked for him before, so Patrick Compton popped up. We select it. His return will open up. And we're going to go in, once it opens up, into the federal section. It's a 1099-R. In this case, I'll just go up to the form finder and key in 1099-R. There it is. Select it. We had, in our prior exercise, a rollover. There's the rollover for Patrick Compton. Now we want to add another form, 1099-R. And here we are. We have the form, we're provided it, and it shows that the payer's ID is 121234567. It's the Alpine Pension Fund. The Alpine information is populated. The gross distribution we're shown is 12,743. The tax amount has nothing in it. Tax amount box in 2B, not determined, is checked, so we're going to check that box. Again, we don't know what the taxable amount is yet. There is in box 4 some federal income tax withheld, $1,274. Next box is box 7 that shows that it's a normal distribution to 7. This box for IRA SEP is not checked. Box 9B. 9B shows total employee contributions of $79.85. There it is right there. I'm going to pull it in. $79.85. There's nothing else on the form. So we are provided with the gross distribution, but we don't know what the taxable amount is. And we're told that the tax amount was not determined. I put it as total distribution, my mistake. So I've now checked taxable amount not determined. Now we have it. So what are we going to do? Well, we need to apply the simplified method. We're given the information in the self-study guide, and it says that it's for Patrick. It tells us when it was started and other information. So we're going to go into the pension exclusion calculator. The way we find it is to go to Massachusetts Tax-Aide site. Remember, mataxaide.org, Mass Tax-Aide. And then in here, we just click on the Colorado Tax-Aide Annuity Calculator, Bogart's tool. I've done that already. Here it is. I apologize for the size. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit here. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And maybe one more time here. We'll zoom in. There we go. First thing we're going to do is make sure we have the right tax year. It's not tax year 2024. We're still in 2023. This is for Compton. Well, what's the annuity start date? Well, we're provided that. He started receiving his pension on the 1st of January 2014. So 01/01/2014. What's his birth date? Well, we're given his birth date in the intake booklet, and his birth date, find it right, is 7/8/45. So 07/08/1945. There is no spouse. It's a single. He didn't select the joint or survivor option, and so the gross distribution, which we need to enter here in this line, is from box 1 on the 1099-R, and that was 12,743. Total annuity contributions. Where's that? Well, that's in that box 9B on the 1099-R. It says total employee contributions. That was $79.85. We're done. We're done with our entry. We have all the information in correctly. We now would just say click here to calculate, and it's going to come up with a box at the bottom that shows the taxable amount being $12,287. So I'm going to write that down, $12,287. Now notice at the bottom here, it also shows, starting in tax year, how much was recovered, how much was excluded that year. It was a full year. He started in January. So $456, and for every year beyond that, it's $456 until he runs out of what he had already contributed, meaning it had already been taxed. So in 2031, at the bottom here of this chart, you can see that he'll receive $233, the remainder of his non-taxable pension, portion of his pension, and then that's it. From then on, it'll all be taxable, assuming he lives beyond 2031. I want to emphasize that you should always print out, if you do this calculation, always print this out, including this tax exclusion table at the bottom. Now we're going to return back to the tax return, and we're going to enter that number of $12,287. We're now back in the return. Here we are, $12,287. We've entered the gross distribution already. We have that entered. Everything else was correct. And we can just say continue, and that will save it. Now it's saying we have some concerns. The taxable amount is not the same. It's less than the distribution. We know that's correct, so we just say continue. Did you make an early withdrawal? No. For a qualified disaster, the answer is no. And now we've entered in his pension. That's the end of this exercise.